I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen of Madison Maximize Living. Few people realize how many things they can do to move their health in a positive direction. The choices you make today make you better tomorrow. What you eat, what exercises you do, managing weight and keeping your structure sound and a nervous system free from interference can make a huge difference. Join co-host Stacy Hansen and myself for our show on creating wellness, coming up next.
Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about creating wellness today, and I think that just that title says something, that you can create wellness for yourself.
Well, health is a choice. Aristotle said health is a matter of choice, not a mystery of chance, and I think he's right. It's really what we do in our daily choices creates wellness in our life or creates poor health in our life.
And when we talk wellness, we're talking full circle, I imagine. Physical, mental, emotional, social.
Yes, it's social well-being. Wellness is that optimal physical, mental, and social well-being. Not just the absence of symptoms or disease or infirmity. You know, it's that optimal level. And we don't think that way. We often think, am I out of pain today, then I must be healthy. Mm-hmm. But that kind of thinking is why Americans are really so poor in their health.
So where are we at today as Americans?
Well,
I see this graphic here.
Yes, this is one of my favorite charts to help it describe how we are. And as you go through this look, this chart, I kind of ask you to check off the ones that you don't have, I guess, perhaps, because I think we all have parts of these in our life.
Yeah.
American society, we're overstressed. About half of people had major stress last week.
Wow.
Or have it continually. Overexhausted. Many people are sick and tired. I always like to say people are sick and tired of being sick and tired. Mm-hmm. Over-medicated. We're 5% of the world's population, and we take 80% of the world's prescriptions.
Wow.
And we have an epidemic right now of opioid issues, mm-hmm. with about 2 million people addicted to prescription opioids. And often that can move into heroin on the street. So these are decimating our cities. Over-informed. We have a lot of TV stations, a lot of information coming at us, and it seems like we all need to know everything, you know, to stay current. But yet I think it creates a lot of stress in our lives.
Right, especially with the internet now, and everyone's always on the phone, you know, watching their phone, and it's just...
someone might text you and you better not miss it, right?
Yeah.
So that creates a stress in our society. It's kind of tense and got to watch everything. I think the average person picks up their phone 100 times a day. Mm-hmm. Overfed. We eat too much. You know, some of us eat to enjoy, not eat to live.
Right.
Undernourished is another common one because we're eating poor. The quality of our food is poor. Even if you get like chicken, well, chicken isn't just chicken. You get an organic, free-range chicken or freshly prepared chicken versus something you see at a mall where you see them throw this greasy, sloppy-looking stuff that looks like all fat and then fry it up with some flour around it and then flavor it. There's a difference in the quality of food. Mm-hmm. And so we're really undernourished from poor quality food and poor food choices. Undermoved. This is a new epidemic called motion deficiency syndrome.
Wow, it's a syndrome now.
You have to get motion to stimulate your brain. Your brain does not work right, your joints don't work right, you're tired and fatigued, often from not being moved enough. Underslept, the average American is about an hour less sleep than they should have. And kids need more than they're getting. They're about an hour and a half short on sleep. So sleep is really a time for your brain to store memory and for your body to recover. And the only thing that increases during sleep, the only system, is your nervous system, causing you to repair your body. That increases while you're sleeping. We're toxic. Now it's been said that 80 to 90% of our cancer is coming from toxicities, pesticides, additives in our foods, in our water. and that causes a toxic effect and our bodies don't run well. And then lastly, subluxated, which as a chiropractor, what that term means is your spine is out of alignment, putting interference onto your nervous system. So that command and control from the brain down the body isn't working. And when not good control is happening, not good feedback, there's a disconnect between the brain and the body. And our job really as a chiropractor is to reconnect that healing power and energy and information from the brain to the rest of the body.
So if you're looking at some of these and seeing that some of these are fitting you, stay with us because we will have more about creating wellness for yourself after the break. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about creating wellness today and really creating that for yourself and working towards it. We talked a little bit before the break about the current condition of Americans.
Yeah. Our health isn't that good. We're ranked 43rd in the world by the World Health Organization, and yet we have we spend twice as much as anyone else, and we have a lot of doctors and procedures and well-trained. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's the best country in the world to have emergency surgery, but overall health of Americans isn't that good. It's now estimated that 1 in 2 men will get a diagnosis of cancer in their life.
Half. Wow.
And 1 in 3 women will get a diagnosis of cancer in their life. I'm not trying to alarm people, but I think it's important to realize that a healthy lifestyle really matters. Mm-hmm. And often we don't find out till too late. And then 1 in 3 people over age 65 have trouble taking care of themselves or even unable to take care of themselves. That's not a healthy country. And according to the National Teachers Association, 1 in 3 students is either physically, mentally, or emotionally disabled.
Wow, disabled, that's a high number.
Yeah, they're challenged, perhaps maybe a better word. So as far as diabetes goes, we have 75 million Americans in a pre-diabetic state called metabolic syndrome, where there's high cholesterol, high blood pressure, a enlarged waistline. And it's estimated by 35 years from now, we'll have 1 in 3 Americans with a diabetic state.
Wow.
So we're not healthy as a country, and we've not lived according to the way our body's designed. We're designed really well. I think we're, like we mentioned before, all the stressors we have in our lives are not creating wellness in it. So that's what our show is about today.
So that sounds like a lot of things to overcome for us. I mean, where do we start in trying to create wellness?
Well, I think this chart right here sums up a lot of it. Is to create wellness, first you've got to understand what wellness is. It's optimal function. It's when your body is working at its best, not just not sick. So that not sick is you don't feel anything. I'm not feeling any pain. Doesn't mean you're healthy, you're just not feeling it. But a lot of times you don't feel your ill health building. Many people can have a heart attack and they didn't really feel anything coming on.
Wow.
Or they didn't feel anything and they get a serious diagnosis. So not sick, we call that a state of dis-ease. Poor physiology, it's not working right. So this is a continuum that we are either climbing or sliding on a daily basis based on our levels of activity and what we do. So for this person, for example, is not living a very good lifestyle. Drinking alcohol, which some obviously is okay, but you want to watch it. Smoking takes 10 years from your life. Being heavy, overweight, is very hard on the physiology. And then as a chiropractor, I can't help but mention she's slouching here.
She is, yes.
So that's it, we call that not sick. So a person doesn't go from well to sick unless there's a trauma, an accident, or something like that. You go through these phases. So the idea with this chart is to really point out we have levels of health from zero expression of life, less expression of life, and then more life as we do daily activities that build our health.
So as I look at this, it looks like it's an upward climb. This is work. This isn't just something that happens.
Yeah.
You can't go from here to well overnight.
You're either building health or losing health on a daily basis based on your activities. I like what Jack LaLanne says, when I eat well today, or I exercise, tomorrow, every day, the next day will always be a better day. So it's just about putting those things into your lifestyle.
Yeah, so it's just thinking every day, making the choice to eat well, to exercise, to not smoke, to drink in moderation or not at all.
Yeah.
And day by day, you climb that ladder.
Exactly. And it's easy. The thing that I like about it, it's actually easier to do it right than to suffer the consequences of it. One statement was, nothing tastes as good as thin feels.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, stay with us. We have more on creating wellness for yourself right after the break. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking about creating wellness today, and next we want to talk about how you can recover. We've got the road to recovery here. So first, Dr. Pat, what's the difference between just treating the symptoms and actually doing a wellness type of care for yourself?
It's a really good question. It's really a matter of approach. This chart, Road to Recovery, really sums up kinds of care, health care in general. We have, say you have symptoms down here, and you get some care, and then you're feeling pretty good. We call that decision time. So are you going to say, I feel good, I'm done with my care? And then let it slip back down until you get a relapse and see that nice doctor who helped you, and then do well again, and then wait till you need it, so to speak. And you end up having this roller coaster, we call it pain care. But it doesn't really get to the cause of the problems. And these relapses are a little bit like concussions. You can't just keep hurting your body while eventually having a crisis that you can't bounce back from. So that's a model that's used far too often in our healthcare system, is a symptom management system. What we say is, I'm glad you feel better here, but let's make sure we have your physiology working well. For example, as a chiropractor, I would say, let's make sure your leg length is even, your range of motion is back to full, your strength is good, your posture is good, any x-rays are improved. And that's really what we call a state of wellness, corrective care and then wellness. This is easy to maintain. This person could have a slip or a fall and not really get hurt as readily. And if they do, they'd bounce back pretty quick. This person is a hiccup away from getting hurt. So that's really a concern. Build your physiology so a person in wellness really has their best sleep, their least stress, their best strength. This is why athletes love us. Their best performance, their best moods. Depression is less because their body physiology is working well. So that's the difference really between wellness, corrective care and wellness, and a pain management system. We need to get to the causes of dysfunction and not just feel better today.
And you say too, you said before, health is a matter of choice. It's not something that, is just maybe just your right, with it you can do whatever you want. You have to choose to live this kind of lifestyle. Yeah,
it is a choice. If we do what Americans do, we'll have the diseases Americans have. So that's devastating, not learning the wellness model. It's stated that wellness, Stacy, will change our lives as much as computers have. The idea of taking personal responsibility for our own health. After all, whose responsibility is our health?
It's your own.
It's your own. It's not your doctors necessarily, not your insurance companies, it's not Obamacare's. It's your responsibility to build health in your body.
So what are some of the things that people can do just to kind of start themselves off?
Well, it starts out in the morning. One thing would be to not push that snooze alarm too much and get up. Because you could get in a bad sleep cycle if you wake up before your alarm and then fall back asleep again. Too much, you can get in a bad sleep cycle and you might feel tired the rest of the day. But also, by not snoozing too long, you can actually get up and get your movement going. So one of the things would be to make choices is to do the top 10 morning exercises we have on another video.
Episode we did, yeah.
And look at doing the 12-minute workout. That we also did to get your body primed for the day. Your whole physiology is different when you do those exercises in the morning. Your brain actually functions better. You're sharper, you learn faster, and you're burning calories for hours after a workout like that.
So you're better off doing those things in the morning than, say,
Well,
afternoon?
I like the morning because
Yeah.
it just jump starts the day. But anytime, just make sure it gets done in the day. So
As
that's
long
it.
as you do it.
And then choosing the right breakfast. Is it going to be, you know, a Twinkie and a cigarette and a diet
I
soda?
hope not.
That's not uncommon.
Really?
Or is it going to be a smoothie full of healthy nutrition and good proteins and antioxidants? So that makes a big difference. And then early to work. You know, how many people are stressed in the traffic? Just the
Yeah.
stress alone. And Doc, that used to work for me, it was always early to work, and I complimented on it to him. And he said, well, if you're 15 minutes early, you're never late. And I just
Yeah.
thought, no, that's a good saying. Stupid, but a good saying.
Yeah,
But that reduces
why
stress.
cut it close?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, speaking of cutting it close, we have to go to break, but we have so much more to tell you about right after this. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv. Welcome back to Maximize Living with Dr. Patrick Andersen. We're talking creating your own wellness today, and we're talking a little bit about the challenges people face, some of the choices they can make throughout the day. We talked just about waking up in the morning, maybe doing your exercises. Breakfast is always a good idea.
Yeah, healthy nutrition. And many of us face the dreaded breakfast pastry challenge at work.
Yeah.
Or someone brought in some cake they didn't want to finish, or they brought a dozen or two bagels in. And mostly high-carb, sweet foods.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I'd say is just look the other way, you know, or nibble a little. But I find if I start nibbling, I want to keep eating it. So it's almost easier just to have an orange instead, or an apple.
Yeah, have something naturally sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we get into lunchtime.
Yeah, there's some decisions at lunchtime, and some good healthy things are get a motion break. Sometimes getting a workout. So I'll do cardio in the morning often, and I'll do weights or tubing at lunchtime. And it's like a jump and restart for your day. But then how are you going to fuel yourself at noon? Is it going to be a greasy burger and fries, which make you feel tired later? Or is it going to be something really nutritious like a salad, getting all the fiber and water and antioxidants in your body, so you don't have that 3 or 4 o'clock lull in your energy because you ate bad foods? And then a nap is a good idea. I am a fan of a 12-minute nap. You got a 12-minute workout, let's do a 12-minute nap too.
Yeah, if you can convince your employer to let you nap somewhere on site.
And then don't work through lunch. You need a break to come back. You probably get more done if you don't work through lunch.
Get away from your desk a little bit. And then when you come home at the end of the day or it's after work, I know a lot of people talk about the 2, 3 o'clock feeling. For me, it's a 4 o'clock feeling. How do you get past all that?
Well, give yourself a quick smoothie, some protein powder and a little green food powder in there, get a bit of a smoothie. But, you know, leave work on time and try to get more done up to that time and then shut it down consistently. And then eat early. People often eat too much, too late of the wrong foods, and then they can't sleep at night. It interferes with their sleep. One helpful thing too, if you eat early, you can do more intermittent fasting, which is very healthy now. So you go a longer period without eating food. As you don't break your fast until a little later, and you can get 12, 14, 16 hours without food, which is very resting and recovering for your digestive system in your body.
So now, end of day, you've just gone to bed early, hopefully, and gotten your sleep and woken up for more. Now, I wanted to ask you too about what is this we've got going on here?
It's actually modern art.
I was going to say, is that Warhol or Liechtenstein?
No, it's an Andersen original. It's one of one.
And you'll sign this? If
I will sign it,
people want
and it's available from at Dr. Pat at wi57.tv, or just email with questions. We'll be happy to answer them.
And he's kidding, but hey, if you wanted, I'm sure he'd make something happen.
In life, we all have good things and bad things that go on. I don't know, and the black dot represents the garbage in your life, the problems, the stress, the financial issues, the fight with the spouse, the kid problems, the work problems, the health problems. You know, this dot, we can either focus on the dot when we get up in the morning, or we can say what's great about today and really focus on what else is there. We can make that dot bigger, or we can make it smaller. But I think to wish it wasn't there is hopeful, wishful thinking, because everybody has a black dot in their life of stuff they got to deal with. It doesn't, you know, might get a few good days without it, but we have a lot of challenges in life, and what we focus on really determines how healthy we'll be.
And I think that's a good point you made there, that everybody's got a black dot.
Yeah.
You know, I think with some of the social media out there, it seems like there's lots of people with no black dots, but you're only seeing what they're choosing for you to see. And I think if people keep trying to focus on these black dots all the time to get rid of them, they're missing all this wonderful white space.
Yeah. Do you think Sotheby's would go for this?
I think so.
Yeah. Would you contact them for me?
I will. And stay with us. We have more on wellness right after this. Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv.
Thank you for watching our Maximize Living show on creating wellness. Hopefully the things we covered will make a difference in your life. One thing that can make a huge difference in your life is making sure you're under good chiropractic wellness care. First and foremost, it's important to understand where your body is at when it comes to structure, range of motion, strength, and balance. For a checkup, call 608-833-1282 today. We'd be happy to help. For Maximize Living, I'm Dr. Patrick Andersen. Until next time, live well and God bless.
Have your questions for Dr. Pat answered on an episode of Maximize Living. Send your email to drpat@wi57.tv.